Hello. So today I'm going to just take you through a simple sun salutation sequence. We're going to do kind of a foundational one where we start to look at any hip tension. We're going to move through some gentle transitions, nothing too dynamic at the moment. Any of these positions, feel free to kind of lean into anything that feels nice. So feel free to pause the video or run through the video a couple of times and then work through the sequence yourself and take your time. Might not necessarily talk you through breathing here as we go through, but feel free to pause per position and spend a couple of breaths here and just kind of find a bit of expansion through your rib cage in each position as well. Okay, so we're going to start standing at the front of the mat. I think you can just about see all of me. We're just going to check in with feet first of all. So find ourselves in all four corners of our feet. You might check in with one foot at a time. Play around with your pelvic neutral and just find your neutral position in your pelvis, and maybe just check that your rib cage is stacked on top. From there, we're just going to press straight up overhead with our fingertips, lengthening up and out of our torso and just feeling a little bit of deep core activation there to start off with. We're then going to sweep our arms wide. We're going to fold at our hips, send our sit bones back, softening at our knees into a deep forward fold. So in this deep forward fold, we might take a little bit of time just to let our arms hang. We might sway a bit side to side. We're then going to come up into a half forward fold. So that would be reaching crown of the head towards one side of the room, sit bones towards the other side of the room. And we're going to think about having a nice straight long line through our torso, deep core working to keep us there, and you're going to look down. We're going to fold deeply again, placing our fingertips on the floor, framing our feet. We're going to step back with left foot first into a nice long low lunge. We're going to bring our knee to the floor. Back toes can be tucked or untucked here. So in this position you can do a bit of rocking forwards and backwards into maybe a runner's lunge for your hamstrings. We might simply sink forwards through the front of the hip in order to kind of stretch out quads and hip flexors here as well. And we can also heel toe that front foot outside of our hands into a lizard pose as well. So then the knee can start to open out, and that's going to get into the kind of front of that right hip. Bring yourself back to your low lunge again. So hands framing your front foot. We're then going to place our hands flat on the floor and step back with the other leg. We're going to bring ourselves into a hands and knees position. You may need to shorten how far your hands and knees are away from each other in order that we're not too extended here, okay? We're going to find a little bit of a pelvic tilt here first of all, and that's guiding the movement from the axis of our hip, which is here. And having done a couple of those, we're then going to move into more of a cat-cow position. So we can then add ribs into it, and you can do any other dynamic hands and knees stuff that you want to do here. We're going to come back to our neutral, nice active rib cage, sit bones pointing straight back. And we're going to send our sit bones back as we tuck our toes. And then those sit bones are then going to go up towards the ceiling into downward dog. Now you'll notice I'm bending my knees really generously here. So I want to be pushing actively out of my hands. We want a straight line, hands to sit bones, and then knees nice and soft. Here I can walk out knees. I could come up onto my toes and then sink back down again. So you can play here, you can be one leg up, etc, etc. We're now going to step forwards with our left leg. So we're going to push up tall with our arms and bring one foot up. Drop the back knee. Feel free to tuck or untuck the back foot. We're back here in that low lunge position. And as you get more used to this position, you can tuck that back heel to intensify that stretch should you wish. Okay? Again, play around. Feel free to explore these, feel free to explore lizard as well should we want to be here. Foot back between hands. We're going to tuck the toes and lift the back knee, and then we're going to take a step forwards, bringing our feet to parallel. You'll find yourself back in deep forward fold again. We're then going to come up into half forward fold again. So think sit bones that way, crown of head the other way. Nice long line, deep abdominals working really strongly here. deep forward fold, and then we're going to sweep arms wide into mountain pose, and then come back down to centre again. Okay. There we go, I'm back in focus. So that's your sequence with the left leg leading. You would then repeat it with the right leg leading, okay? So feel free to play this video multiple times, but just swap in left and right leg. Feel free to play around with all the extra variations. Pause somewhere that feels really nice. And as I said before, feel free to kind of find that lovely rib expansion in different positions. You're going to find that maybe deep forward fold feels really delicious for you. You might find that you want to spend a bit more time in low lunge if hips are particularly tight as well. As always, any questions, any concerns, drop me an email. And enjoy. Take care. Bye.